Hello, and welcome to the Anime Explorations Podcast, a monthly anime book club podcast. My name is Alex.
I'm Tora.
I'm David.
And each month we watch an anime series, or in this case, a portion of an anime series, and then talk about it. But first, we do a little bit of news discussion first. Also, catch up on what we're watching. So, we're approaching the end of the current, I guess it's, it's not fall anime season yet. So we're coming into the spring anime season. So what shows are you still watching? What, any, like, the last episodes are airing, like, tomorrow, but, like, where are we at for final thoughts and stuff?
I'm still loving Witch Hat Atelier so much.
Yeah.
It's like it was made for me.
I think we're an episode behind on Daemons of the Shadow Realm.
That one's been pretty fun, too.
It has,
it's
but
a slower start.
I don't know.
Well, actually, it had a really banger start, and then it kind of really slowed up. And then I started getting really interested again because of all of the different, like, daemons. There's wild creativity there.
I don't know. It seems to lack some of the magic of her previous works.
Maybe.
That and the fact that, like, everyone, you can tell exactly where the character design was used previously
there are
in
some
other
reused
shows.
character designs for sure, but that's okay.
Let's see.
Oh yeah, she has some Tezuka star system going on.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I compared it to as well. Still watching Wisteria Wand and Sword, which it's average. It's not bad to have on in the background. It's not as deep as some.
Damned with fate praise.
Like, it's keeping me entertained, and I'm watching it every week, so it's doing something right. But yeah, it's nothing groundbreaking. And I'm also still watching Warrior Princess and Barbaric King, which is just a very charming romance that the world building got real weird real fast and just takes you on a ride.
All right.
I think that's it for what we're
I'm pretty much just
watching.
I'm pretty much just down to Witch Hat and Daemons.
Yeah.
Demons. However you want to say it.
For what I'm currently watching, so also watching Witch Hat Atelier, which is great. Watching that with the parents. Other show from the season I'm watching with parents, or showing to parents, is Akane Banashi, which, again, the dub for that is on Netflix. The dub is about, like, 6 episodes behind from where it's airing, streaming on YouTube. So it will, if you're watching on YouTube, the last episode of the season is out today. I have not watched it yet, but it's extremely well done. Dub is very solid. The most recent dub episode that came out on Netflix, or at least last week's episode, the one we watched yesterday, had the introduction of the Jugimu story, and which is a lot of, like, heavy wordplay and speaking, like, words very quickly, very clear enunciation. So, like, this is the intense test of the voice actor kind of standpoint for the story for this. So I'm really interested. So I really like that. Other shows I'm watching. We have Botan Kamina Fully Blossoms When Drunk. That series is, like, it got really artistic, is how I describe it. Like, it has definitely gotten to the point of, like, doing some really interesting visual stylistic stuff in there for the Boozy Yuri show. It definitely makes for a very strong contrast with Drops of God, which is, like, visually very heavily visually restrained in a lot of respects, until we get to the wine tasting and we get to the perceptions of what these vivid dreamscapes that the characters are perceiving as they're tasting the wine, and the images that they are that are coming to them. So, like, So it's an interesting contrast, because with the visual flourishes in Botan Kamina, it is more like emphasizing to put emphasis on character relationships and their inner lives and that sort of thing, and their inner perceptions, with a little bit of like some weird like this feels like an imaginative dream state, but this is apparently where they are in real life stuff. The most recent episode has them in this, two of the characters going to this mall, and a lot of the places they've been to previously, like bars and that sort of thing, have had a real sense of like, oh, the studio went, like some of the animators went on a location scout and took some reference photos and that sort of thing. This place feels like we like. I mean, maybe this is the Yuri part getting me thinking this, but it's like this feels like it's getting Utena.
They had to pay homage to the goat.
It's like we're going on this long escalator ride to this store, for this clothing store, and on this escalator ride there are mannequins hanging from the like posed mannequins hanging from the ceiling, and moving like foreground background on the shot. I'm like, I don't think this place exists in real life. I feel like this exists for a Utena reference.
Utena reference. Artistic, but in that very particular way.
I see your reference. Well done.
Nice. Sounds like you could add this show to the growing list of anime I've accumulated that's about food or drink in some way or another. Like, Japan has a very cool food industry in that people seem to really care about it.
Mao is still very good. There it is. It does still have elements of the Inuyasha thing going on, but it's again the nice thing about having them not chasing a Shikon gem or anything like that, and having to collect shards or that sort of thing, is it lets the story, like the focus, be on characters and character relationships, in addition to having these big elaborate fights and that sort of thing. And Digimon Beat Break still good?
Oh yeah, forgot. Still watching that.
One other minor little note. I do occasionally watch an ecchi show for each season, and this one probably showed that it's streaming on Ocean Vale. It's almost like less ecchi and more probably falling into H show, but it's Do You Like Big Girls? Which is romantic comedy harem series about a short king guy who ends up being the manager of a collegiate girls volleyball team, where the big girls come in because they're all tall. But
that's true to real life.
That show has the point where I feel that show suffers is each episode is too short. It is like a 7-minute long episode.
So it's more vignettes.
Yeah, it is more vignettes, and it makes the situation like, I've read some of the manga of this, and like there's a lot of like character development stuff that they have to leave on the table. Also, if you are more there for the plot, there's a lot of that gets left on the table, and it can get left on the table too. So it feels like no one really wins here, which is a little bit of a bummer.
That's a pity.
Other than that, on the news stuff, couple things. First off, Dark Horse Comics unionized.
Yay! Good job, guys! Woo!
And not only did they unionize, Dark Horse voluntarily recognized the Dark Horse Workers United Union.
Rare tip of the hat to a corporation there. Very rare.
Now, this is not the end of the situation. There's still contract negotiations that have to be done and that sort of thing. But props for Dark Horse for doing kind of, I'd say it's the bare minimum, but it's bar that so many other companies fail to clear.
That's so true.
Other than that, we had the Seiyun Awards in Japan. This is Seiyun is awards. While Seiyun translates as Nebula, it is closer to the Japanese equivalent of the Hugo Awards in terms of its award that is given out at a convention, with the voting base being the attendees of that convention. And for the other notable stuff outside of the anime side of things, best translated story looks like it was a tie between a version by Alistair Reynolds and Babel, or the Necessity of Violence, an Arcane History of the Oxford Translator Revolution by R.F. Kuang. For long story, translated short story was After Zero by Greg Egan. But for the dramatic work, we have an anime winning with Apocalypse Hotel beating Milky Subway, the Galactic Limited Express, which is currently on Netflix and I need to watch it. Taruman Banpaku Daibaku Hatsu, which I need to look that up because I don't know what that is. So that is a feature film, a tokusatsu feature film related to the Taruman franchise, which looks like it is basically it's a celebration film for the 2025 Osaka World Expo, where the main character is a tokusatsu Ultraman-esque hero modeled after the original Osaka World's Fair statue. If you've seen a picture of that,
That's pretty cool.
That is pretty
yeah. Other nominees were Gundam Klux, Lazarus. So, a little bit. So, I guess the Crunchyroll Awards weren't totally out there for nominating Lazarus for Best Animated Series.
Not a mixed opinion on that one.
Yeah. The J drama.
I'll get there.
The premise didn't quite work for me. As you're the J drama, Queen of Mars, Kaisei no Jo. I'm mangling some of these, and I apologize. The film Junk World, and Zombieland Saga, Yumi Ginga Paradise, which is the most recent film in that franchise. So, I have read some reviews or seen some reviews of Junk World and heard some good things about it. It's a stop motion animated film. So, probably should seek that out at some point. But yeah, props to the winners of the Seiyan Award, for all the winners of the Seiyan Award this year.
Do you know if the Seiyan Awards are plagued with the same level of controversy that the Hugos are?
So the answer is I don't know.
Who knows?
With the Hugo Awards, the fandom drama elements come up because we speak English, we read English, and so we're able to follow English language social media and that sort of thing. So we can tell when there's something like the puppies happening, which is what happened at the World Con that I went to, or when there's controversy like what happened with the Chinese Hugo Award, the Hugo Awards in China, where works were unreasonably disqualified due to the convention organizers and awards committee attempting to comply in advance with censorship requests that had not actually been made. Or other general baggage, or ranging from not just awards drama to awards show drama, presenters mispronouncing author names and that sort of thing. So, and that may be happening in the Japanese side of things on Japanese Twitter, because Japan still kind of has hung on to Twitter. That may be happening on other Japanese social media. There may be video essays going up on Nico Nico or that sort of thing. complaining about this stuff or spilling the tea, or this could be happening in doujinshi circles and that sort of stuff. But I don't have a line into that world. That said, if there's an if there are English language people who are like, hey, doing fandom drama videos for what's happening in Japanese SF, please let me know,
Yeah,
in the comments or email.
I want to follow you.
You want that tea?
I want that tea.
Yes. Please serve me your delicious, delicious tea. And with that, it seems like a time to finally, speaking of tea, wrap up JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Stone Ocean.
I basically ran to Reddit afterwards. I was like, I gotta see what people think about this. We'll get to the end. But dang.
Yeah, like this was like it started out like the second half started out kind of with the same general tone of where it was at before. And then it just like escalated to the moon.
Literally.
Things got wild.
Yep.
Things got wild, but it didn't seem like
Things got wild, but also inconsistent. Or at least unexplainable. Listen,
this one felt more like things are happening because the author wants them to happen than because of any sort of established, reasoning.
Yeah, previously the stand powers and everything, he was always very careful to set up exactly how they worked so that we knew, how to predict what was going on. And this just kind of felt like one unpredictable thing after another.
Snails.
Which, worked for what was going on because the protagonists were also wrong-footed by that. And I mean, yeah, what do you do when people start turning into snails? Where the only reasonable response is, the fuck?
Especially since it's, generally speaking, stands have one power.
Yeah, previously when stands have evolved, they did so for a very specifically explained in-universe reason.
And usually there was a visual change.
When Poochie's stand was evolving, I'm still left with so many questions about what happened there. Why did sinners have to be sacrificed in order to give birth to a green plant baby that was also somehow the reincarnation of the will of Dio that then kind of either consumed or merged with Poochie by saying a series of completely random words? I was like, what?
Okay, I'll do you one better.
What?
That still makes no sense to me. When Poochie's brother's stand was out of control, why did he take his memories and not his stand? He has the power to extract memories from people and to extract their stand. This guy's power was going crazy and was killing people, so instead of taking his stand, he just took his memories. And it makes no sense.
That was all very confusing. And I do feel
It's
like
almost like it was pulled out of his ass!
it was all very late stage backstory for Weather Report and Poochie, too. Because we got that whole episode explaining their relationship and what happened in the past, and all I was thinking was, wait, how does this matter now? We couldn't have known this earlier?
Also, these are apparently twin brothers.
Even though one's white and one's obviously not.
Yeah, even though one is obviously Caucasian and one is darker skinned. And then when they're dealing with the racists have a problem with the light skinned brother.
Right. But I think that actually I didn't have a problem believing.
I don't have a problem with them having a problem with
passing people.
the passing.
Yeah.
It
was that bad.
Yeah. South is not great.
This whole like that definitely the whole part of the story, like, and going onwards, like, not just with the like honestly, it's like weather control on its own is a pretty OP power. I actively read X-Men comics. I was reading X-Men comics through the Krakoa era, and one of the significant narrative bits in that is the X-Men terraform Mars through the use of Krakoa's sibling Arakko, Magneto jump-starting the core of Mars so that it had an actively molten core and thus a magnetic field again to help retain atmosphere, and then Storm creating stable weather systems.
Are you saying this just happened casually off screen?
No, this was like
was an entire arc.
Okay, all right. That would have been wild if it just happened casually.
Storm is not the most powerful member of the X-Men, but she's always in the top 5.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, weather control is a powerful ability for sure.
I remember in the first run of Ultimate Comics, they had to depower her because she would have solved literally every problem.
Different discussion.
I know.
You could go on about X-Men forever. I'm not going to let you. We got to stay on topic.
Not forever. No, it's not like Superman comics.
I mean, it is somewhat relevant here because like stand powers often run into similar territories as mutant powers. And this often can relate to like balancing the challenge of an opponent in the story. And actually this works critically comes up because we then come to like the end of the story, and like Poochie's power has evolved from like just being able to extract minds and stands from people and allowing him to use that to manipulate people, to gravity manipulation, to reality warper.
I mean, it seemed less reality and more time acceleration.
Yes. From what I understand from reading various articles about the finale and all of the Reddit discussion threads about the finale, it seemed like what he was doing was he sped up time to the point where they hit like the singularity point of the universe, and that allowed a new universe to be born or something like that.
Yeah, the big crunch into a new Big Bang.
I don't know
which
physics,
apparently followed.
Sure.
But oh my god, Poochie's power is just like, I have this power because I need to have this power because the narrative requires it. I can beat I have these limitations because the narrative requires it. Yeah, this one, I did not like the ending. I liked the eventual final ending. I thought it was very interesting. It was the road to get there that I felt that so much of it felt unearned and felt just, oh, the narrative needs this for this reason.
I kind of enjoyed the fact that throughout those whole last 3 episodes, I was expecting Stone Ocean to suddenly develop a new power and Jolene to step up and defeat the big bad, and that completely did not happen. And like I said, I actually kind of enjoyed that because it was, it was different from what had come before. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about it though, that the one to ultimately defeat Poochie was not a JoJo. But it was poetic justice that it was Poochie's brother.
Tradition,
like his stand anyway.
Thus far, going back all the way to, going back basically all the way to Battle Tendency, a JoJo wins because all of the setup has been done by someone else. Or someone else gives them the key. Or someone else weakens the enemy.
Well, yeah, the JoJo squad is very important.
Yeah. But this one, it didn't feel like the squad was important. They're there for the journey. They're there to keep everyone moving.
I will counter by saying FF.
Oh no, I loved FF.
I love FF.
I hated her death.
Me too.
I hated her death because she got a really pathetic death after a really good one. And then she was suddenly, that one was undone. Because when Poochie takes down FF by giving her a second stand that boils water, I thought that was really good move on his part. I was like, okay, that's a perfect counter. And then suddenly, that is undone because Weather Report shows up and it starts raining. But she should still be boiling all the water that's still coming in contact with her. It's not like he constantly had a downpour on her to keep giving her new water for her.
I don't know.
Yeah, and then it was just like a really pathetic death after that. It's like, well, you had a cool one that was good that even went back to the traditional JoJo use of stands fighting other stands and their users figuring out how the opponent works and then finding a logical weakness.
I didn't want FF to go. They were the coolest.
Oh no, FF was definitely. They had to go, however, because they were the healer in the group. Yeah. And if they'd been around, literally every other problem would have been solved. Like, oh no, he's been cut. Oh no, she's been stabbed. Well, luckily you have FF there who will fix that really easily. Somehow.
There was a lot going on around the topic of fate in this second half, right? And we've seen fate come up before in JoJo, but this time it felt very, very pointed and on the nose. Like, not only does Poochie want to create a world where everyone knows what's going to happen and is okay with their predestined fate, but he just kind of casually runs into 3 sons of Dio at the same time, and yeah, pretty much everything that happens after that, he's saying, oh, it was fated, you know.
It's not fated, it's just the script. Which I understand can be the same thing, but...
And I feel like it made sense in the context of his character, because he was just...
crazy?
100% committed to that idea. But it also feels a little ham-fisted. Especially since his plan almost worked. So does that mean that everything that happens in JoJo is predestined? And is that a meta-commentary?
that is a interesting thought of the whole thing.
Yeah.
Is in terms of the perception of narrative as a medium. I was slightly amused. Like, I was amused by the bit of the as the time warp thing was going on, the time acceleration, with the one mangaka who felt a little bit like an XP of Araki.
That was hilarious.
Where it's like, how, like, get a call from an editor, like, I can't get my manga turned in on time, my deadline. My ink keeps drying before I can draw anything with it. Like, well, this other mangaka's turning his work in on time. Who? Kishiribe Rohan?
Kishiribe!
Of course. Man, I laughed so hard.
This is true. We
like, of course.
Yeah.
Oh, the pain when you know the deadline is coming up and then time starts moving faster.
But like,
and this time it's not all in your head.
Okay, that's another thing. It's that Poochie was able to move at super speed because he was able to move at the same time as the rest of the world. Whereas all living creatures are moving at the normal pace. But he's doing things that are completely impossible. No matter.
Yeah, that's why I put it less as, like, while time manipulation as part of it, I kind of put it more as reality warper. Like, he's warping reality in the context of, like, he's using the time manipulation, because that's how it is. He is handling it mentally in terms of the idiom, I guess, he is working in.
I respect Araki trying to tie it to physics, because physics is a mind-blowing study, but I don't think he quite hit it in terms of giving this some sort of real-world basis, because no.
I mean, the big crunch time loop thing, that is not, like, Paul Anderson did it in the story Tau Zero. So I could see this being like Araki has made references to plenty of other forms of fiction in the past. I mean, this season is, again, like, prison stories, um, towards the end, prison escape stories. I could also see him saying, "Hey, I'm at no point going to have. I'm currently not planning on having JoJo's in space,
Sad.
although there, there is a potential for that because you still have one of the Pillarmen who's floating out there.
Like when they start, Cape Canaveral, gravity. I'm like, oh my god, they're gonna bring back cars. That's gonna be awesome.
David was so excited.
I was so excited, and then got so stupid. And I'm like, I wish it was the alien from outer space returning. That would have made more sense. That would have, tied the whole thing back to the beginning. Like, Dio's will is in fact just because, his powers came from the Stone Mask, came from the Pillarmen, came from cars.
Came from space!
Exactly. It would have been a nice tying everything back together. And, revealing that the enemy going all the way back to Jonathan that was faced by Joseph, Dio, the big bad that, plagued Jotaro, plagued the Joestars. It's all big one loop.
Should I draw a fan art of cars riding on the back of King Ghidorah?
That'd be fun.
But
you gotta have Joseph on Godzilla. If
Yes,
you're gonna
I
do
know.
that.
I would. It would be amazing. Sorry. Side note.
Like I would say there would be like a somewhat mispotential, like in addition to all the mispotential for not bringing back cars, considering that how long it's been since anyone has had to deal with the Pillarmen in cars, like there is the ultimate like potential for like Cars shows up, the audience like, oh, it's Cars, and Jolene, and it was like, who the fuck are you?
Right? It's like, your Habad will not stop me. And she's like, what the hell is Habad?
Yes. Cars evolved past the point where Haman could hurt him. That's
right.
why Joseph had to blow him into space with a volcano.
Joseph, my favorite.
Yeah, it's one of those. It's a good thing Joseph wasn't in this because he would have solved it. Like, even super old man Joseph would have taken one look at Poochie being like, yeah, it's that asshole.
That's okay. So even though the ending was really confusing.
Okay. Another thing, though, is that Poochie keeps going on about how he's going to kill Jotaro and Jolene and end the Joestar bloodline.
Yes.
But Joseph got around. There is at least Josuke
There's gotta
as
be
well.
more.
There's probably Invisible Baby that Joseph adopted. There's definitely more. It's like, this is not the end of the Joestar bloodline. This is,
Also, I mean, we saw with Giorno, all Dio's bloodline are also technically Joestars because it's Jonathan's body that Dio was pulling from. So,
Jonathan's stuff that Dio was spreading around.
yeah. Anywho.
Like, the fact that they all have the star or birthmark
I'm still a little weirded out by the fact that Dio spent any time at all in Florida. But,
okay. And speaking of Dio,
yes,
I understand that there has been an art style shift from when we last saw him in Stardust Crusaders. But Twink Dio is wrong. It doesn't look like Dio. Dio was a huge guy, not this.
It made perfect sense to me. I was like, this was always there. It's just now reflected in the art style.
I don't like it. Not that I have any problem with twinks, mind you. It's just Dio does not exude twink energy ever.
I just went through a series of facial expressions that I can't describe.
There was a face journey.
But
Always.
Okay.
I think
I was delighted. Like, so there was this scene where Poochie is remembering his time with Dio, and they're just chilling on a bed together. And I was like, And then I went on the wiki and I discovered that frame was taken just straight wholesale out of the manga, and I was like, yeah, it was. That tracks 100%.
Yeah, I think moving on past the many gripes I have with Stone Ocean, because God damn it, I wanted Jolene to be. I wanted this to be better than it ended up being. I feel like as the final part of the original JoJo timeline, it does feel like a bit of a letdown.
And it's confusing as well. I think the general consensus among people is that the universe that we see at the very end is not the one that we're continuing forward with.
No,
it's not the new one for Steel Ball Run.
Yeah, they're basically completely incompatible.
And everybody's kind of arguing about what this new universe is and what happened to the JoJos in it. And half of the internet, from what I was reading, thinks that it's the exact same JoJo universe as before, except there was no Poochie in it. And so Jolene never had to be a JoJo, which is why she was named Irene instead. And then the other half is like, I don't, like, maybe there was never any JoJos or Dio or anything. Like,
I think the more reasonable explanation, at least to me, is that this is a universe without Dio in it.
Yeah.
So the Joestars were able to just be people.
Yeah. But she still has the star tattoo.
Well, yeah, because that was just, I mean, Jonathan had that. That was just something that the Joestar family did.
Yeah.
Had.
So it's interesting.
If given what we've seen, that, you know, that carries no matter how many generations removed, it's going to be a whole thing of the people with stars upon theirs.
Other things that I liked how the prison escape wasn't a big complicated plan. Instead, it completely swerved into a different genre for a while, and it was that horrible, like, mind-twisting thing with the stand that made it so you could only remember 3 things at once.
Yeah.
Oh, that was good. Like
that was wild.
Memento. Like speaking of references to other works, like of all the things I was not expecting to get referenced, Memento was the one.
Right?
Well, this came out before Memento did, didn't it?
The manga.
Oh, let me
The
check.
manga, yeah. I did like the reveal that the prison escape was never, oh, we're gonna have to work really, really hard. It's, no, we have to stay in here till we get the thing, and then it's easy as hell.
Right. Breaking out was
Okay,
never a problem.
Okay, so Memento came out in 2001. The Stone Ocean ran from December 1999 to 2003.
Okay,
So
he may have watched the movie and then immediately created this character.
honestly, quite possible. Like, particularly if you watched the movie fairly early on in the run, and that idea kind of cemented in his head, and then once he started coming towards the escape part of the manga, here's a spot where I can introduce this character.
Yeah, it was interesting. I'm sorry, I lost my place. Other things I liked. I like how Anasui, even though the entire time I was expecting him to do a heel face turn, because of the pink hair probably, he turns out to be ride or die. Not quite on Speedwagon's level, but I mean...
Okay, when you say heel face turn, do you mean become a villain?
Yes.
That's a face heel turn.
Oh, my bad.
Because the faces are the good guys, the heels are the baddies.
I'm glad you knew what I meant. And,
it's actually a wrestling term.
Indeed.
Yeah, so you guys know.
I'm not a wrestling guy. I just spent way too much time on TV trips.
I am the wrestling guy.
Anyway,
as far as I know, he is the wrestling guy, in fact.
And I was like, if I had been drinking something, I would have spit it out when he takes a moment in the middle of the final battle to ask Jotaro if he can marry Jolene. I was just...
And Jotaro's reaction of, now is not the time!
Jotaro literally is like, the fuck are you talking about?
It's like, well, you know, you're the target. You're probably going to get killed in this fight.
I loved it!
I'd like your permission ahead.
I loved it so much! That was hilarious.
I would love to know why he likes Jolene so much.
I mean, he describes why several times, but it's that very vague anime reason that I've seen in a bunch of anime where, like, the fire in their eyes, the determination that they show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, that's great. Now the actual reason.
I feel like as a couple, they're always going to be fighting over who's prettier, but maybe that'll work.
The thing is, I don't think so. I think Jolene does not care if she's pretty.
I like that about her.
I think she's very much, this is my style. I don't care if other people don't think it's pretty. I'm going to be true to myself.
She does have impeccably immovable hair.
Those
buns don't budge.
I mean, remember, her dad's hair is a hat.
I know. She has that structural integrity built in from the hat.
Oh yeah, somebody on there's a Tumblr I follow that's just pictures of Nendoroids, and yesterday they posted a picture of the Josuke the Jotaro Nendoroid with the hat hair, and I'm like, yep. We're doing the character in 3D, so we have to have the dimensions. So we have to have the hat hair.
The hat is part of the DNA. Yeah, I liked that they were trying to get to Cape Canaveral, and then Hermes gets to yell, "He's hiding in the freaking space shuttle."
That boob window bastard!
That made me laugh. May I just say, for the dub, which we watched on Netflix, I believe, the voice actresses for Jolene and Hermes, they both really commit. By the last several episodes, Hermes is just yelling completely obvious things and cursing a lot, and she gives it 100% every time. I was like, that takes power. So, that was great. I also really liked it whenever Jolene said "good grief."
Good grief. I think overall voice acting wasn't bad. I just think even it felt like even some of the voice actors were like, what the hell am I saying?
What is happening right now? Yeah.
I will say, I don't think this was Matt Mercer's best work as Jotaro.
He didn't get a lot.
I know, he didn't. It just felt like it might have been a while, and he didn't have much chance to get back into the character.
Well,
I don't think he did a bad job. I just don't think it was as, good as Diamond is Unbreakable and Stardust Crusaders.
Yeah. It probably does change things when it's just a few lines as opposed to an entire show.
When you got a chance to get into the character.
Or maybe he made it different on purpose because Jotaro is older now. Although he is drawn to look the same age or younger than his daughter.
He has not aged. His art style has only changed.
Yeah.
There are very obvious... Okay, and speaking of art style, how does this artist fail so hilariously at drawing children? It's genuinely staggering how bad these kids look. It's like, have you ever seen a child? Go online, do some research. Go to a park, maybe.
The montage of moments where time is speeding up and he's showing that happening through various things. The girl with the ice cream cone pops up and David's like, this is the worst face yet. I can't. What is happening?
Emporio is such a regular character. How are you so bad? How have you never looked at a child? That is just a tiny man's body. You just made the face. You just made the details smaller and put it in the middle of his face. You didn't actually draw a child. The proportions are different.
Look, we artists
the ice cream cone.
We're bad at.
I forget the name of the album. I have looked up. The girl with the ice cream cone reminded me of the girl off the cover of that one Korn album, Follow the Leader.
Yeah, actually.
I think she shows up in the music the music video and animation for one of the Korn's album, for one of the songs off that album or something like that.
Maybe.
Okay, I see it.
David pulls it up on his phone. He's like, okay.
It's not an excuse. It's just a reference. You can tweak these.
While we're talking art, though, briefly, the animation this season was definitely not as good as previous. And there was one episode in particular, I think it was one of the ones where they were fighting gravity on the road to Cape Canaveral, that everybody was just way off model. And I found it very distracting. So that's unfortunate. They probably ran out of budget or something. Or they had to farm out certain episodes to different studios, maybe.
Ran out of time.
Yeah. We all know the pitfalls that can befall an animated show. Animation is hard.
Thank you, Shirobako.
Yes, exactly. Now we know how hard it is.
God, I think that might be the most useful anime I've ever watched.
Yeah, thank you for that, Alex.
Shirobako, basically.
Thanks for making us watch that.
I feel like we've been talking a lot and Alex hasn't.
Sorry, man.
No, I mean, it is to a certain degree. A lot of the podcast is me setting up questions and that sort of thing to moderate discussion.
My outrage.
It's not your outrage or your enthusiasm. I definitely think probably where the biggest time sink animation wise was in the last couple episodes where they're doing the time lapse effects.
Mm-hmm.
Because that absolutely feels like something like, oh, this is going to be really work intensive, probably really research intensive, and it's going to take a lot of time to do. So we're going to start that early, but that also ties up animation staff.
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to cut corners for the trucks and vehicles and various miscellaneous people flying at our main characters as they're trying to approach Cape Canaveral. I did definitely think towards the end, as we're getting the increasingly cataclysmic death tolls, this is definitely Iraq. As I have to reset the universe at this point for the story. So I might as well go all out on cataclysmic destruction and all that and this intense death toll because my deliberate intent is that this world will not exist unless they don't have to deal with the repercussions of it.
Yeah.
It is in a way kind of Crisis on Infinite Earths-ish.
I see that.
Where you have this massive cataclysmic destruction and that sort of thing. But you can kind of get away with that because these are universes that you don't have to live in afterwards. So you can you can smash the sandbox or let the castle get washed away by the sea.
No one liked the Crown Syndicate anyways.
And in turn also you get to have a character or selection of characters in the case of poor Emporio who remember how things were before. And boy, Emporio is going to need therapy when he gets not when he gets older. He's going to need therapy now.
As soon as they get to town.
This is a kid that grew up in a hidden room inside a prison. I mean,
how?
I have questions. He's more of a spirit guide archetype than anything else. Which is why I was so surprised that he was the one to get the big finisher, basically. Well, you could argue that it was weather forecast, but you know what I mean.
I would like to point out that if Jotaro had just called in any of the people from Diamond is Unbreakable, they would have prevented this from happening.
Well, we know why Polton Ref couldn't be there.
Yeah. That's Stardust Crusaders.
Sorry, yeah, you're right.
I mean, Koichi, straight up, his reverb gravity power 3, that would have... I don't care how fast Poochie can move. He's not outrunning gravity.
It feels like we and the protagonists are both set up with this assumption of, this is just remnants of Dio stuff. It's not going to be that big a deal. And then it turns into this whole apocalyptic shit show. And I mean, I didn't see that coming, so I don't really blame them for not seeing it coming and responding with appropriate force. You know what I mean?
But the thing is, by the finale, when Jotaro returns, He does know how dire it is.
It is hilarious that Jotaro shows up and immediately is like, I know exactly what's going on.
It's like, yeah, but you're still just one guy. Where's the rest of the Speedwagon Foundation?
Yeah, it's just,
Where's your
I mean,
uncle?
they're just scientists now.
yeah, I mean, like, to a certain degree, like, some of this is he's been comatose for a while, and he maybe just recently got his memory disc back, but still, this does feel like, okay, mobile, like, here's my Rolodex, call every number in this,
Mobilize.
get them here as fast as you can. As far as speed, instead, the only Speedwagon people we encounter in the final battle are the two helicopter pilots who experience the same thing happens to them as you'd expect with any other Speedwagon Foundation helicopter pilot.
Like the
Or
thing
a
is,
Capcom
like,
video
with
game
gravity
helicopter
messing
pilot.
up, the helicopter is the safest option because it can hover. If they just drop the engines drop thrust to 0, could have just hovered as gravity changed and then just flown up the side of the Earth.
I don't know. David, you had this really fun theory when, like, the gravity changes were first happening. You were like, what if they're actually experiencing the rotation of the Earth, which we don't normally experience?
Like, what if that was my initial thought is, what if it's not gravity? What if it's inertia that he's messing
That
up?
would have been very cool.
Like, all of a sudden everyone's moving 1,000 miles an hour that way around him, which would be just as lethal. Well, actually, it'd probably be a whole lot more lethal.
Remember, if the inertial dampeners are off, you should say that in the same tone as, my arm's in a wood chipper!
Star Trek, inertial dampers are offline. Then why aren't you paste on the wall?
That's a shout out to SF Debris.
Yes. One of our spiritual predecessors.
One of our spiritual predecessors. Well, he's still going, right?
Yes, but he also came before us.
Yeah. So... yeah, I mean, I was pretty baffled by most of the things that happened in the last 3 episodes. They did manage to get some decent character moments in there. Like I said, Anasui asking Jotaro for Jolene's hand in marriage was probably my favorite moment. And Jotaro's just like, what the fuck, man?
Time and place.
And then, like, I was actually really surprised that Jolene turned to Anasui and was like, all right, go ahead and propose to me. Not because we're about to die. And I was like, wait, not because you're about to die? What? Okay.
Honestly, I kind of love you, ride or die.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of came around to him by that point, too. Because he repeatedly showed willingness to die for her. It's hard not to respond to that.
And speaking of ride or die, her boyfriend from the very beginning, genuinely feeling bad.
She got a little moment with him, yeah.
He gave her a helicopter.
Got to kind of close.
She ruined it immediately.
Close up that loop. Yeah.
I did appreciate where she's like, okay, I understand he feels bad about it. I understand he feels
I forgive you, but I was still punching. Yeah.
No, that's all punch you. Like, I understand he feels bad. I'm still putting one of Kiss's stickers on your tongue, and I'm going to.
How did he not notice she did that?
I know. Maybe Stone Ocean did it. People can't see stands, right?
No, unless you have a stand, you can't see a stand. Usually, sometimes the rules are fucking weird because narrative drift.
It did make a great moment, and that's fine. I was glad that Hermes, she disappeared, but then she came back, and I was like, oh, thank God Hermes is still alive, which made me realize that I actually had really come to enjoy her as a character.
I think she deals with the nonsense with the same attitude I would.
Exactly, yes, I really see myself in that.
It's like, what? What new bullshit is this?
Just cussing everything
what
out.
What fresh hell have you uncovered?
Oh, fuck, you guys, yeah.
I was so much happier in my cell, and if I didn't think the world was gonna end, I would be back there!
Jolene, I'm your girl, but this is some nonsense. Yeah. I'm still sad about FF. And I don't know. I think by the time the narrative kills them all, it was nice that Jolene and Jotaro got another little father-daughter moment. I approved of the narrative choice that Jolene basically went out saving Emporio, because that does sound like something she would do. And Jotaro went out saving her because, yeah, okay.
He didn't. Jotaro went out standing in a circle with everyone else.
Yeah, well.
The
narrative heavily implies that he is killable because she is his weakness, but I'm not really sure how that worked technically.
Well, if you remember, he gave up a chance to take out Poochie in order to save her.
Yeah.
Like, that's straight.
So, but then it felt like it was kind of building up to a power of friendship style moment, but not really.
Sekiha love and Kyoken.
Yeah, and then like the universe resets and Emporio's back in the prison because I guess Poochie stopped the universe resetting earlier than he would have to complete the loop because he wanted to deal with Emporio first, and that was a huge mistake. What would have happened if he had just continued until the new universe went all the way to that point where he reset time at Cape Canaveral and the loop was actually closed? Then it would have all worked out the way he wanted? Maybe?
I don't know. I don't think he's right about what would actually happen.
Well, yeah, and that's... The narrative seems to start to validate him because there was that whole moment where the guard was like, we better stop or we're going to have a nasty fall. Because he was picking up on the knowledge of what was already going to happen, the way Poochie had intended for everyone to do. Personally, I think Poochie's entire premise is flawed, and that if everybody knew exactly what was going to happen before it happened, that would not lead to any sort of peace or paradise. But,
I think if, like, he restarts the entire universe, giving everyone throughout time the knowledge of what's coming ahead...
I get the point of view.
I kind of get it, but I think like the fact that everything up to this point has exactly been the same does not hold together. Or is it just people will have knowledge of the future starting when I stop the loop
of what happens, but they can't change it? So that just sounds like it would make people more miserable. Was this all a predestination versus free will issue, or are we just throwing out words to sound deep? Because it kind of feels like we're just throwing out words to sound deep. Yeah. A lot of anime falls into this pitfall, where they try to address the predestination versus free will conundrum, and it just doesn't engage in a meaningful way.
And I think one of the big problems is that there have been so many really good free will versus predestination time travel series, movies.
Explorations,
yes.
There we go.
That, we've got all this, other stuff that we're comparing it to. And in this case, it's kind of not great. Like, I think my favorite, fate versus, free will is from Terminator. There's no fate but what we make. So it's like, okay, if I know the future, I'm going to start making some change. I'm going to start making some decisions that'll either affirm that or that will counteract it. Do I want this future? Do I not?
But, like, think about it for a second. If Poochie had succeeded, people who commit crimes against other humans, like, say, a man who's beating his wife, he knows he's going to do it. She knows he's going to do it. Neither of them can do anything about it.
And he's... Yeah, and Poochie's thinking, like, oh, this will comfort people. Like, no, actually.
It might allow the aggressor to avoid responsibility and feel better about himself, but it doesn't solve anything.
Well, that's the question. Is like, can they make changes with this knowledge?
Yeah.
If they can, then it's not really fate. It's just foresight of a possible future.
Does it fall apart immediately?
If they can't, then no one is ever going to be happy again, because you're just going to be seeing all the decisions you're making ahead of time.
Right.
You are now just on a line. You're essentially on a train track through your entire life.
Yeah. That sounds terrible.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. So I don't know. I guess it actually is interesting to think about. So in that way, the narrative succeeds because it's made me ponder this. But I'm not sure it has made me change my mind about anything, or any deeper meaning. It's more of just a that's interesting. You know what I mean?
This is it sparks a brief thought, but it will kind of be set aside immediately.
Yeah. Instead of a deeper interrogation of the themes. I feel like at this point I've probably gone deeper than 99% of people will.
At this point, I think we might have gone deeper than the author did.
I'm sorry.
Because this
is how I like to engage with my
Stone
media,
Ocean
so
does not hang together. You put it up, you look at it all, but it does not hang.
I want to get your opinions on this one thing before we continue. Sorry, Alex, I cut you off.
No, it's okay.
Do you guys feel like as a JoJo protagonist, Jolene was kind of cheated?
Absolutely.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, okay, me too. We have consensus.
I think as a JoJo protagonist, she is in prison, but she is also given the least amount of freedom to grow as a character, to make her own choices. Her entire journey, up until like 3/4 of the way through the story, up until they actually leave the prison, has all been about her father.
Yes.
She has not been allowed to have her own agency. She's only pursuing this for her father because she doesn't actually have a choice in the matter. It's either that or spend 15 years in prison.
I feel like they almost get to a moment. Well, the show almost gets to a moment where she decides to pursue Poochie for her own reasons, and that's after he kills FF. But it doesn't quite stick it. Like, it tries to go for this very big moment of her, like, she's sitting in solitary and she's talking to Emporio, and it tries to go for this big moment of her just, like, assuming the mantle of her destiny as a JoJo and saying, I'm gonna stop this guy. But it does feel like she's on rails, so it really kills any power that moment would have had.
Also, at that point, she's accomplished her previous goal of getting her dad's discount. Somehow, Emporio got it out. There's so much that boy does that it's just, I'm doing this because because someone has to, according to the narrative, and
he has it on him when they all leave the prison, and then he hands it off to a courier outside the prison. So yeah.
I think the other thing that causes problems for me for Jolene in terms of her not getting justice is, like, she's not the first Joestar to die. I mean, like, going all the way back to Jonathan. Yeah, but I think what makes Jonathan's death feel more satisfying than Jolene's is Jonathan's death has that element of going down in a final battle with your arch nemesis.
Yeah.
It has that element of Rackenbach Falls to it.
Yeah.
And Jolene, on the other hand, like, she dies setting stuff in motion so that Emporio can finish off Poochie. But the problem is it's Emporio finishing off Poochie. It'd be something if it was like if Jolene finished off Poochie by, like, taking out his stand and giving it to Emporio, and Emporio's the one who resets the universe, because like I knew that there was a universe reset at the end. I had it spoiled for me that Jolene died, but I didn't have the full context. And so, like, if it was Jolene dies, taking out Poochie's stand so that now he is powerless and has no control over reality, and Emporio's the one like, okay, I'm going to tearfully take the stand, stick it in my head, and reset reality, have one so that my friends are back. That would feel like a good bookend.
Be more satisfying. Yeah.
It'd be a satisfying bookend to the Joestar Dio war, multi-generational conflict. But instead, it isn't quite that. And that is I think what makes it frustrating.
Yeah, there's a lot of dissonance between the apocalyptic events of the finale and the whole setup for it. It just didn't seem like it was gonna get that big and that important until right at the end. And then the show has the temerity to show us all of the previous JoJo's in the end credits. Well, vectors of them, which were fine. Like,
perfectly serviceable.
like, here is the end. Remember how good it was.
Don't
While
you wish you
playing
were watching
Roundabout.
Diamond is
And
Unbreakable or
playing
Stardust
Roundabout.
Crusaders?
Yes. Yes. Okay. I that was a choice. I get it.
I would like to point out this show was not called Emporio's Bizarre Adventure.
Yeah.
This is JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and JoJo didn't make it to the end.
Honestly, yeah.
Like, even with Jonathan's death, as he dies, taking down Dio, or sealing Dio away as we later learn, it is with the knowledge that this story is continuing. That, yes, this is one character, but JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is not about Jonathan Joestar. It is about JoJo. And there will be another JoJo, and another JoJo, and another JoJo. And this one sort of kills that.
You could have just started writing in an alternate universe and given this one, you know, a normal happy ending, and then just said, we're done now, we're going to a different world. But
or honestly, if you're going to end
although
an alternate universe, end with the kaleidoscope view of alternate universes. Like, this one will continue on, but look at all of these others that we're going to walk between.
do you know what I'm reminded of? I'm reminded of the end of the rebuild of Evangelion movies.
Oh my god.
Because I do understand the creative's impulse to just blow everything up at the end, you know, symbolically. You have to give yourself mental closure on something that you've created, right? But in this case, I don't know that it made the best narrative choice.
Yeah, like with Eva 4.0, like it gave that narrative closure by putting the characters in a world without Evangelions or angels or that sort of thing. But that, again, this is different from what we got here. Because Evangelion, not to get too far on an Eva tangent, is a lot about, like, the endings for those series and films have all been about the characters and, like, the protagonist's interior journey. This, like, feels like, what if in, like, the conclusion of Eva 4.0, the interior journey that resolves the story is Kensuke's?
Yeah, actually, exactly, Kensuke.
Well, and I feel like if they wanted to keep all that crazy apocalypse stuff happening in the end, they could have done that if they had made the character journeys and interiority more compelling. I don't know. I feel like I simultaneously wanted both more and less out of Jolene and her father's reunion. I feel like you said, it kind of all came back down to her daddy issues was her big character arc through the season. And I found that to be pretty unsatisfying.
I don't feel like it resolved. Like, there was that one line of, I've looked through my father's memories and I understand.
I think it was more that he came to the prison and was willing to die for her than her actually seeing his memories. But
I know. But the point where she said, you know, she's like, raised her hand triumphant,
that
like,
moment,
I understand.
the moment.
And it's like, my immediate thought is, you've seen all of your dad's memories?
David was immediately like, oh no.
That is horrifying.
I'm sorry.
It's like, that is horrifying on so many levels, but also, and you know why he abandoned you, you know why he stayed away from you, but that doesn't change any of your feelings. That doesn't change any of the hurt built up.
I wanted more of a moment where he was like apologizing to her and she was like, no, I've seen your memories. I get exactly where you're coming from now, but thank you for apologizing. Like, you know
I think
what I mean?
it would have better been. It was like, I see all your memories. I know why you did it, but it still hurt.
Yeah.
Like, we should have had an acknowledgement that it was not a great call.
Yeah.
Like, his staying away has not protected her.
Because he's good at fighting and analyzing marine invertebrates, but not necessarily at fatherhood.
Yes, I suppose you should be Dr. Jotaro Kujo.
Dr. Kujo. Dad, remember that time you left for 3 months to the coast of South America? There was a really cool clam there. I don't know what to tell you.
Like, the thing is, like, all of his research trips, he could have taken her.
Yep. Any hoodles. Mixed feelings.
Yeah.
Mixed feelings on this ending.
Yeah, I feel like... yeah.
FF didn't get to come back in the new universe, and that makes me sad.
We don't know that. Maybe she was in one of those puddles.
I mean, we don't know that, but FF says, as she is ascending to heaven, Vento Oreo style, that even if she does come back, it wouldn't be
her.
It wouldn't be them, you know? It'd be a different FF. Which is true. And it's still sad. That's maybe the most profound line of the whole thing, I think. That actually gave me a moment.
Honestly.
Like,
yeah, it's the even if I came back, I wouldn't be me. Which is kind of the feeling of the very end of the show. It's like these look like the people, but they're very clearly not them.
Yeah.
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 So, before we wrap up for final thoughts and that sort of thing, here's the important question that we always do for each season of each chunk of JoJo. We've given our thoughts on Poochie's stance very clearly.
Bullshit.
Any other stand? Any other stands here that we liked? The Memento stand I liked a lot.
Yeah.
Bohemian Rhapsody with the fictional characters coming to life, that was an interesting.
That was very
That one
interesting.
was so weird because there was never like a visual stand that we got to see. It was almost like Hermit Purple in that it didn't have an actual identity, which I think is very weird as a character view choice. But also the fact that it engulfed the entire world.
That was pretty wild.
And it wasn't more destructive.
Yeah.
Like, every character in the world exists.
Or it seemed like it went with the more popular ones first, or the older, more popular ones. Honestly, it was unclear on why they showed.
Do you know how fucking popular Godzilla is?
Yes. I was like, where's Goji?
True. On the other hand, like you definitely have to come up with a Araki had to come up with a very lawyer-friendly version of that because, like, definitely, like, I mean, reportedly, Araki wanted to have actual Mickey Mouse show up, and
it was implied.
And it was implied.
They were like,
but,
don't.
Like, yeah, like Disney lawyers don't. And which I'm imagining, like, in the editorial meeting where, like, Araki, like, starts to pull up a second piece of paper that just has the start of the character for Godzilla on it. And they're like, no.
The editors are like, no!
The thing is, like, you don't even have to, like, there were so many that they mentioned that, like, Batman and...
Batman.
Like, I think, it could have been great, just like a single line of, and Ultraman is fighting Godzilla off the coast of Tokyo.
There was something like that. Wasn't there an Ultraman reference?
There was. But it's just like...
Tokyo would have been straight doomed, man. And New York, too. Straight doomed.
Like, there's, like, that single stand, there's so much... narrative interest. Like, there's so many stories you could tell about that with that. And it was just weird ass Pinocchio.
Oh, that was weird.
And
weird looking dude. But he
and
like,
Timu Seven Dwarves.
Timu Seven Dwarves. High five on that. That's
It's
the best
like
description.
This does. I definitely feel like that. This is like absolutely like a meeting with editorial. Like, okay, Araki like comes up with his like wish list. Like, here's who I want to do, and the
Which ones are
and
public
get the
domain?
response. Yeah, but like, here's who's in the public domain.
Like, the thing is, like, it's not just the public domain. It feels like so interesting, and it's just such a failure. Like, you could narrow it down so much. Like, even if it was just Disney characters, and there are so many Disney characters that are in the public domain,
Missed
though not the Disney
opportunity to
version.
bring in Florida cryptids.
Florida cryptids. Yeah. Or like there's that one girl on the plane with Aladdin, and I thought that was great. But they could do the 1001 Arabian Nights. There are so many great stories.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's hard to narrow it down.
Also, I think the other like possibly missed opportunity here is like I need to check something, but actually yeah, release date 1990 to 2003. So this would have run in this was running in Shonen Jump. Yeah, so JoJo was still in Shonen Jump at the time. And this is late enough that I'm going to be square with you. If I am if I'm Ichiro Oda, 2002, and Hirohiko Araki says to me, "Hi, I'd like to have Monkey D. Luffy show up in this as part of the conclusion of Stone Ocean. Here's the context." I'd be like, "You had me at yes, please do it,
do it."
I mean, if we're going manga, there's like even just Shonen Jump. There's so many wonderful things they could have gone with.
But would they have showed up in Florida? I think that's kind of where he was going with the Disney references. Was like, remember, it's set in Florida. These are the stories these people would have heard growing up.
I mean, I also think it would have been interesting if it had been more folk tales, not straight up.
Yep. Anyway, yeah, that was an interesting one. Yeah. Everyone's standing around going, "Is this the real life?"
Like, honestly, I think a dreamscape would have been better for something called Bohemian Rhapsody, where you're not sure if it's a real or if it's a fantasy. Yeah. I think we should have had like a 2-episode arc where they finally take Poochie down, but as they do, it becomes more and more surreal, and then it turns out, no, this is just like the last impediment that Poochie has set before them.
Well, we could sit here and talk all day about what we would have done.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's not that I don't appreciate what was done.
Yeah. I think
it's hard not to think about what you personally would have preferred.
I mean, as we're all creatives, yeah. Different mediums, grant you, but yeah, I think. Yeah, sorry, Alex.
This was fun.
Yeah,
this was like it was flawed in a lot of respects, but going through it as watching it in binge mode to finish this, to go through it, like by this last chunk, I was like, I don't want to stop watching this, not because that was a train wreck, but because it's like, while there are absolute flaws in the story, and a lot of these are coming out, like, and we're discussing this and going over it, the moment of like, no, I need to go to the next episode. I think this has gotten wild. I got to see where this goes next.
Yeah, there was a lot of that. What the heck?
Yeah.
Also, that argument could be made that it's a lot more fun to talk about a flawed show that approached perfection than it is to talk about a perfect show. Because what is there to talk about with a perfect show? Not that a perfect show probably exists.
Perfection?
Well, there was a lot about it I liked.
There was a lot
And
about
I
it
feel
I
like
liked,
it
but
could
I
have
think it's
been
pretty
absolutely
far away from
spectacular.
perfect. Yeah. Approach greatness, I would say.
Okay.
I enjoyed it. I had problems, but I enjoyed the hell out of it. It was a little less cerebral in its fights than I've liked about JoJo in the past.
And yet it felt like there was a lot of explaining dialogue.
I mean, yeah, it's still better than JJK.
The other courtesy.
That is a low blow. That is a low bar, though. I go watch it.
Definitely worth watching if you like JoJo.
Yeah,
there's wild.
It was very JoJo. It felt a little light on the JoJo, but very JoJo.
Well, I don't know. Some things it ratcheted up, like body horror.
Oh God, yes. Yeah, if you have a problem with body horror, do not watch this. This season's the worst. Or the best, depending on how you look at it. But
posing.
That's fair.
The impossible. Yeah, no one stands normally, even in the background.
Who would?
I mean, that is a fundamental element of Araki's art.
His inability to draw people standing normally.
I'm not going to draw someone standing normally. That's boring as hell. Respect.
Oh, so this is, I will say, I mentioned last episode, but bears point to repeat. This is the conclusion of our final summer of JoJo. We will say, since we are effectively caught up with the main series, yes, there's the first part of Steel Ball Run, which we can watch it on our own time, and thus, as it comes out, we can discuss it during the month.
I'm really looking forward to watching it.
So once we finish our summer episodes, with Blaine, because Blaine will be returning, is currently planned to be returning for a next episode. We will talk about what we'll be having next summer and how that schedule is going to work out. But what we'll be doing next month is for our show for Guessing with Blaine is we will be doing Lupin III Part IV, also known as Lupin III: The Italian Adventure, which is aired in 2015, and this is available on a lot of streaming services. Pull this up real quick. Forgot to bring up the Just Watch for this earlier. Like Lupin III, all of it is all of the series are currently on High Dive, but also it is available on. Give me just a minute while I pull this up. In the United States, it is available on Crunchyroll and Pluto and various other places. I believe also some library streaming services will have it as well, depending on your country. So like Hoopla or Canopy. So check your local library streaming services because those are awesome.
True.
Mm.
Support libraries.
All right, and so this is so Nick, has any final thoughts on Stone Ocean and JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, the sort of the Dio saga, as I guess I would call this chunk of the series?
I still have a very vivid memory of David trying to get me to watch the show from the first episode of the first season.
Yeah, before we started reviewing it.
Before the podcast. And I was like, I don't think this is for me. I'm so glad that I pushed through and now I've seen the whole thing because now I'm a JoJo stan. There's something about it, it's fun. And it has so many like tropes and expectations and stereotypes, but then it somehow transcends all of them because there's nothing quite like it. And I don't know. I really like it. Oh. And Joseph is my favorite forever.
Here's a question. If you had a stand, what would it be named? Not like necessarily what would it do, but song-wise, what would it be named?
I feel like you're asking me what my stripper name would be. It's like, I don't know. There's a lot out there.
I know. It's like, okay, what's your favorite album?
I don't know. There's a lot out there. Lungs by Florence and the Machine is up there. Hybrid Theory by Linkin Park is up there. Actually, all Linkin Park's albums are up there.
Actually, Hybrid Theory would be a great
Hybrid
name
Theory
for a
would be
stand.
a great name for a stand.
Like 1,000 Suns.
1,000 Suns would be a great name for a stand. I don't know. I'm eclectic in my music taste.
I know. So I almost feel like mine would probably be... I do love Metric, so... And with a name like that, you can go anywhere, so...
Metric. My stand is all about weights and measures now. You say you weigh this many pounds? Well, now it's kilograms, my friend.
They still weigh the same. We're just saying it differently. That'd be a terrible power.
I know.
We're leaving the number the same, but changing the unit.
That would be an insane power.
And it would require a lot of brain power to figure out how it would work.
Oh, man.
For me.
Sorry.
Obviously,
No.
you're already there.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I would abuse that power.
Oh, no. Here he goes.
How would I abuse that power? Yeah. Well.
I have like...
Oh, enter weightlifting competitions. Make it easy.
Boom. You meet half Thor Bjornsson and he's like, I don't know how you do what you do, and you just pick him up. like a bridal carry.
I bet he'd love to be bridal carried.
I mean, probably. Alright.
All right. Yeah, I guess we'll see you all next month.
However, before we do that...
Oh, yeah, sorry, Alex. What would your stand be named?
Well, actually, I was going to say... Well, what my stand would be... Like, I like the Moody Blues, but the Moody Blues themselves have been taken, so I will instead have to pick one of their albums. So I'm going to go with In Search of the Lost Chord. And it'll be audio manipulation or something like that.
That's very cool.
And also, one other thing is, before we go, it's important to mention that I have an email address, which people don't send emails to, but you could if you wanted to. That's animeexplorationspod@gmail.com, where if you have feedback, send what your stand would be.
Yeah, let us know.
As well as your thoughts on the Dio saga of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, as well as your thoughts on Lupin III, Part 4. We will be covering, we're focusing on Part 4, but we're going to have to, just by the nature of the beast, give a conversation of some of the elements of Lupin III as a franchise, the jackets, and that sort of thing. Some of the history. So give your thoughts on what you think about Lupin III kind of in general, but also on Part 4, the Italian Adventure. And also, if you want to support the pod and help cover our hosting costs and that sort of thing, we have a Patreon at patreon.com/Count0OR. That's Count ZEROOR. Backers get access to my Let's Plays, my video and essays and written reviews, and all the other wonderful stuff up to 1 week in advance, and along with episodes of this podcast ad-free. If doing the monthly thing doesn't fit with your finances, which is perfectly normal, the economy is a mess right now, I have a Ko-fi at ko-fi.com/count0, again, ZERO, and just whatever you could, whatever works for your budget to toss in, is greatly appreciated. Thank you all very much for listening to this podcast, and we will be back next month.
Email us and let me know if you're still thinking about Hellshake Yano. Because I am. Bye, everybody.
Bye.